Hello everyone, welcome to this chilling yet humorous tale. Are you ready? Sayoshu, I was still pulling a roller when a biting cutie turned him into 2.5 him, leaving the rest panicked. They were ready to jump on a vehicle and bail, but all the sitting buddies on the ground started reviving and charging at them. Just in the nick of time, the little brother heroically lifted the big sister onto the truck, but the danger wasn't over. The zombies were hot on them. Eventually, the brother and sister slammed the truck doors shut. Then the vehicle shook violently. Seems Big Brother's driving was rock solid. The truck overturned into a ditch amid chaos. They dazedly knew not the time passed. The world outside grew calm. The little bro struggled to open the door, finding it late at night. They'd been out long. As he searched a boy emerged from the truck. The little bro was too scared to speak, thinking it a zombie sidekick, then turned around. Turns out, the boy was just a normal kid. The big sister finally relaxed, while the little brother noticed Big Brother had already logged off early. The little boy was hugging the big sister, smelling the cherry blossom scent. The little brother thought, hey, that hug is supposed to be mine. Suddenly, a car appeared in the distance. The little bro waved, but it screeched to a halt as if out of control. Upon closer inspection, it was a self-driving car, with only a hand on the wheel. Looks like the driver got snacked on without even realizing. The boy, scared, turned around and saw head-activated amatillers. Memories flooded back, had eaten Flyer too. Wanting the boy to mutate, he yelled at the big sister to clear out. This kid was definitely acting odd. The big sister belonged to a different world and had no clue what the little brother was talking about. Thinking the little bro wanted to harm her, she grabbed her gun and gave the little brother a surprise. So the big sister hurried off with the little boy, speeding away from danger until dawn. They stopped in front of a small town, and the thought of her lost boyfriend made the big sister sad, causing her to shed tears unconsciously. She unconsciously gazed at the boy, only to realize he was indeed just as the little brother described. His eyes were white and lifeless, which startled the big sister into shock, while the little brother pulled out his gun, aiming it at the boy. As the train whooshed by, a gunshot rang out, and the little boy met his end in the truck. The big sister stepped out, trembling slightly. The stepping out was just that little boy. At this point, she had completely lost it, charging at the townsfolk. Ha ha ha. And we can guess what happens next. The townsfolk all became snacks. Up next is a new story, The Haunted Used Car. Austin runs a used car dealership, and to rake in profits, she often refurbishes crash cars and sells them to unsuspecting customers for a hefty gain. Be careful buying used cars, especially with people like Jin. She was collecting scrap cars to refurbish for personal gain. Suddenly, a horn honked nearby. She turned to find her son playing in a car, and Boss Jin yelled, "How many times have I told you? Your mother is working hard here. Don't mess around." Later that night, Boss Jin checked all the car's history. To her shock, she discovered every vehicle had a death secret. She turned to the monitor and saw her son being naughty again. He was weaving between the cars, while the security guard came to request time off, saying his wife was going into labor, and he needed to. Boss Jin granted his leave, but when she returned to check the monitor, her son had vanished. She frantically called out, but got no response and panicked, fearing her son might suffocate in a car. She pulled out all the car keys and searched frantically, but still couldn't find him. Just then, a flower seller appeared out of nowhere. Boss Jin, in a panic, yelled, "How did you get in here? You can't sell things." The man backed away quietly and vanished into the shadows. Boss Jin returned to her office to check the surveillance, only to find her son frolicking around again. She watched as her son seemed to notice something and walked forward. What was stranger was, it looked as if he was chatting with someone, but when she looked there, it was pitch black. In an instant, Boss Jin saw a figure materialize in the previously empty space. She noticed it was a man in dark clothes with pale skin. It could be the flower seller from earlier. The son was walking ahead, vanishing quickly. Boss Jin rushed to the vehicles in search. But as she turned, a massive figure appeared in front of her, sensing her approach and slowly retreating into the darkness. At the same time, it was crying out. Boss Jin asked what was happening when suddenly the giant roared in anger. Its belly ripped open, and oh my god, blood poured out, nearly sending Boss Jin into a meltdown. What the heck is that? Boss Jin totally lost it and bolted. I didn't sign up for ghosts today. In her panic, she tripped and fell. Just spotting her son's remote-controlled car whiz past her, she chased after it but ended up with nothing. Suddenly, she heard her son's call for help, prompting her to gather herself. She cautiously crouched down to peek under the car, yet saw nothing, thinking, "Am I going blind?" Just then, holy shit, a blood-smeared little boy suddenly appeared before her, leaving Boss Jin in shock. Terrified, she hid in a corner, not daring to lift her gaze. Suddenly, her son zipped past her into a van. She rushed in after him, but as soon as she entered, he bolted out the other side, while the doors mysteriously shut and locked her inside. As Boss Jin struggled, a charred figure appeared, knocking insistently on the windows.